I wasn't so sure about this story. I saw this story online today and I read it through about there being more stupid people in the world and I didn't believe it. But then I looked down at the comments below and I was like, oh, there they are.
Now, we all wish we could save the world with one simple idea. Well, our next guest is going some way to achieving that and counts Barack Obama as one of his supporters.
In 2008, at the age of just 20, Aussie mates Daniel, Justine and Jared embarked on a bold quest to end extreme poverty. They had less than $1,000 between them.
We had a certain naivety about us.
3 people just shooting for the stars, and it was so infectious that you wanted to help them.
And so Thankyou was born, a social enterprise aimed at providing safe water, healthcare and sanitation to those who need it.
I thought I'd done my bit for the world, and I was wanting to get into business, entrepreneurship, and then this moment confronted me.
The concept is simple. Make and sell great products, then donate 100% of the profits to help end extreme hardship around the world. They've already given away $5.8 million.
People want to do something and change something, they just don't really know how.
Now, Kiwis are jumping on board with the launch of Thankyou in New Zealand, and you can be part of it too.
And please welcome Daniel Flynn. One of the co-founders of Thankyou. And as we've discussed this organisation today, everyone said the same thing to me. These guys do things differently, right? Can you give us a couple of examples?
Yeah, cool. So look, one example is how we got here. So we ran a crowdfunding campaign because we have no shareholders and no investors. So we said to our community in Australia and New Zealand, buy this book. It's called Chapter 1, and all the profit from it will fund Chapter 2, the launch in New Zealand and beyond. People went crazy. So the book is sold at a pay what you want price. You can pay. Yeah.
That's a stupid idea.
What's the most somebody paid for that?
Well, two Kiwis paid $5,000 each, which was amazing.
I believed in you.
And you could do that. Anyway,
yeah.
but the most paid is now $50,000, one lady. And look, a few people have paid 5 cents.
Yeah. 5 cents? Wow.
Yeah, a few people.
I saw you at a conference probably about 4 years ago to give a keynote speech, and your story is amazing. Some of the different ways you've tried to get big executives on board. Can you recap any one of those? Was it helicopters you used one time?
Yeah. So the supermarkets in Australia said no to us for 5 years. That's a lot of years. So we launched a video online saying, hey, everyone, help us get in. And people literally recorded videos of themselves singing, dancing, rapping. And then the 2 helicopter pilots, Peter and Jeff, flew helicopters above their head offices with like these, dear Coles, thank you for changing the world, if you say yes. And that's how we got in.
The great thing about that is that's not you doing that, it's getting your fans to do it for you, right? And that's the secret.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this as a consumer movement. It started with 3 of us, but now it's grown into literally millions of people. We've got kids like who are 10 years old. In fact, Landon's probably one of my favourite stories because he's bought 18 copies of Chapter 1 from pocket money and he gives it to other people who think should go on to change the world. And that kid, Oliver, on screen reminded me of him, and I love that young passion.
So what's the story in New Zealand? What are you aiming for?
So we're launching. Today's the official launch, and product hits the shelf. And look, the dream is that this will be built to last here in New Zealand for a long time. We're funding global projects, but also local projects here in New Zealand. And I think the dream is that, well, it works. And when you launch, there's a 13-week window.
Right.
You've learned a lot of things along the way. I know you guys had massive success initially when you launched bottled water out into Australia. Is that coming to New Zealand?
No. So we launched with bottled water. We always said bottled water is the dumbest product on the planet, because it is. But we said if it's going to exist, there should be one that gives all the profit to funding water projects. But we've grown up a bit and decided New Zealand doesn't need another bottle of water. Single-use plastic's a big issue, so we're launching with body care and baby after that.
Daniel, you're launching today. Yeah. If it doesn't work, what's at stake for you?
So, before there was that little shot of an interview with Obama, and it was the most incredibly humbling moment, but he asked us one question: when's this going to go to other countries? And I'm like, good question, Mr. President. And I'm like, well, New Zealand's first. So in our minds, this is like the first step outside of Australia, and it could go so much further. But if it doesn't work, it kind of stops here. So there's a 13-week period. We've got to get products selling. Otherwise, it doesn't last on shelf. That's how the industry works.
Great, well done. If you want to support them, you'll find Thankyou products in New Zealand supermarkets too. Please thank Daniel Flynn.
Yeah.